I can think of an example where a situation occurred where we had two candidates. One was a white male candidate that was vying for a position at a certain institution, and the other candidate was a Hispanic male. The white male they both were qualified people. The white male's interview was very poor. He didn't show any enthusiasm for the position. He was almost very nonchalant about it. Almost felt like the interview was just a procedure, and showed no initiative about the position. And the Hispanic fellow showed initiative, wanted ownership, conveyed experience, had a lot more experience than this other fellow, seemed very eager and just ready to go. And what I noticed about the committee was that they looked at the Hispanic male and said, you know, he's kind of, he's just he's over anxious. He's over possessive, perhaps. He's too detail-minded. That may get in our way of working with him. And yet the other fellow clearly was not enthused, was not showing any kind of ownership or direction that he wanted to take a certain center. And he was chosen for the position over the Hispanic fellow. And I think what you had here was a clear ethnocentric type of decision being made.
The example that comes to mind isn't that the candidate was sabotaged, but was in fact welcomed to campus. Was extended an offer as that second hire, that opportunity hire that we're talking about. But what was quite prevalent in terms of the bias in that discussion was whether or not we should offer this opportunity hire to the candidate, because we felt like this person would need so much more mentoring to actually make tenure. Which I found very interesting, especially because the two candidates that we had decided upon, the one for that position we were searching for and then this opportunity hire, were two candidates who had been out of graduate school for the same length of time, pretty much had the same research record, except one was in the process of writing the book. The opportunity hire was not, but essentially could see pretty equitable in terms of representation of how they were being looked upon. But the fact of the matter of the opportunity hire was a concern for us, that we felt like we really are concerned whether or not this person can attain tenure, because they might need so much more of our time. They might need so much more mentoring so that they are guided and understand the significance of research at an institution. And we don't know if they are capable of doing so. We don't know if they're actually going to recognize the things that are necessary to receive tenure. And are any of us around this table willing to dedicate the time to make sure the mentoring is given to this person so that they can attain tenure? That in itself is a cultural bias, that you would assume that because this person is of color, that she or he is going to need any more assistance attaining tenure than the next person will. When in fact, by virtue of us saying to ourselves that these are individuals we want at this institution, that in itself means that we have an investment in these two individuals. And so we should be giving the same kind of attention and effort and time to both of them, not just one, and not to make any assumptions that one is less, qualified or less able to hack it, so to speak, just because they happen to be brought on as this opportunity hire. So can you imagine walking into that? Yeah. Can you imagine taking a job, and of course you don't know that information, but you walk into a job, you walk into a department in which all of your colleagues know that information, and how that actually might influence or impact the way you're being communicated to interpersonally by your colleagues. I mean, the way that they look upon you is, this is our charity case. And so how does that affect someone, wanting to stay at a place like that if they know eventually that that's how people are looking upon them?